Welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to be making a video about this Ariens 30-inch Deluxe snowblower. Now, the topic of today's video is with the auto turn. Now, ever since I purchased this snowblower, I absolutely have hated the auto turn feature. And a lot of other people have the same problem I have. So, just to cover the intro of this video, we're going to test to see if these universal poly shoes replacing the steel shoes currently on the snowblower are going to make a difference. Now, what is auto turn? So on most conventional snowblowers, the axle is fixed, meaning that the wheels will spin at the same rate no matter what. Pushing and pulling on the handle, wheels are always going to spin at the same rate. So Ariens has decided to come up with this mechanism, right? So what it's supposed to do, when the machine senses that you're trying to turn the machine, what it does is it stops one wheel and has the other wheel spin. So in theory, there's no friction of the wheels skidding across the ground, so supposed to make it easier to turn, which it does make it easier to turn. However, the issue I have and many other users have is when you're going down the driveway, the machine likes to pull and it likes to push you around and it doesn't like to travel in a straight line. So a lot of people online have said it could be the steel shoes and you should replace them with the poly shoes because in theory there's going to be less friction between the machine and the pavement. So what my plan is, with the steel shoes currently on the machine, and the machine is adjusted to manufacturer's specifications, took it on level ground, everything's leveled out, it's raised off the ground, whatever the spec is, I think a penny, 1/8 inch, something like that. Tire pressure is the same, so this machine is zeroed out. So I'm going to go down, come back up this small section of the driveway, haven't had much snow. I'm going to swap over the poly shoes and we'll compare to see how much pull there is on the handlebars, and we'll see if the machine goes in a straighter line. So take a look at the first pass here. Notice how the wheels jerk to the left and then they come back to the right? That was not me at all. That was the machine. So it veered left and then I had to fight with it to get it to go back straight. So let's swap out these steel shoes with the poly shoes and see if this makes any kind of difference. Alright, so let's install this new poly skid shoe. I already have the one on the other side of the machine installed. First thing that I need to note is that there is an inside and an outside. So this is the outside because it has this like 1/4 inch recessed lip. This is the inside, so this is going to sit flat against the auger housing. Now the only way that this is going to fit my machine is if I use this big hole and this third middle hole. And as you can see, I have the new carriage bolts already installed. So I'm going to reuse the old washers because the new washers that came with this kit for some reason don't fit the new carriage bolts. Figure that one out. So, I know what you're asking, what do you do with this big hole here? Do you just use a washer? Well, they actually include these, I wouldn't call this a centering cap, but kind of like a spacer cap with a lip. I don't know, there's probably a more technical term for it, but it should work out just fine. So you're just going to put that in there like so. Then you can use a washer, old washer, new washer. The new washers, again, don't fit. And just got to put the nut on. Okay, and we're going to keep this so that it floats for the moment. And I'll show you what we're going to do next. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put our machine on a hard, flat, level surface. And what you're going to need to do, find yourself 2 1/8 inch spacers. Now the manufacturer, if I'm not mistaken, says that if you're plowing pavement or hard surfaces, you want to set these shoes, or set the cutting edge, 1/8 inch higher than the shoes. So I'm going to take these washers, put one on either side underneath the cutting edge here. Of course, ensure that your machine is adjusted properly, which I do have past videos on that, which I will include in the video description. And now that we know that the machine's on a flat level surface, the cutting edge is raised 1/8 inch off the floor, we're going to go to the side now, and we're going to go ahead and ensure that our poly cutting shoes are flat on the ground, and we'll tighten these up. Alright, so my initial impressions, I think there's definitely less friction between the ground and these shoes. Now, the steel shoes definitely add a bit more rigidity to the auger housing, so it feels just a touch flimsier. But now, let's start the machine up and let's do the real test and see if I feel a noticeable difference. I want to see if this machine drives straighter and there's less jerking. All I have to say is wow. Wow, these poly shoes have made a significant difference. And I'm not sponsored by this company. This is something I bought with my own money. But again, if we take a look at the first 3 passes, you see it was fine and then the machine started to wander. Right there, you can see where the machine off-tracked. And that was not me, that was the machine completely on its own doing that. Now, if we take a look at the final 3 passes I did with the poly shoes installed, take a look at these straight lines. The machine was so much easier to control. It pretty much went in a straight line without it really asking me to direct it. And here's the proof of the pudding right here. As you can see, I got into the grass a little bit right here, but take a look at this line right here, which indicates where the poly shoe went. I mean, that's straight as an arrow. And that's significant because that grass, there's a different coefficient of friction on that grass compared to the pavement. So if there was going to be any point where I would expect this machine to jerk or turn into one direction without me wanting it to, it would have been right there. Very impressed. This is something I definitely should have done a long time ago. So the question is, should you switch from steel to poly shoes? I say absolutely. I think it's going to make a huge difference. Of course, time will tell. I'll give you some update videos in the future. But I am curious to see how long it's going to be before these wear out. Are these going to wear out quicker than the steel shoes? See, this is after 2 years of use. And that side's almost pretty much done. So these were ready to be flipped over anyway. But man, what a big difference. Even if they wear out a little bit quicker, definitely worth the investment. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.